Hello and welcome
Whenever
to
you're
the
ready. What's
Mac,
up,
where
Jake?
MotoGP fans come to congregate and fanboys fear to tread.
Oh,
We're
Jesus,
back.
doesn't that just show how out of practice that we are?
Yes.
I just started out with Merry Christmas. So I know. I'm still in Christmas mood. First podcast of 2026 after a bit of, let's just say, an extended break.
Yeah.
Unforeseen break, but time to recharge the batteries, think about life and MotoGP and what's 2026 going to bring. When we kind of look at it, let's just say the anti-climax of the year, I suppose.
And I got
This
a
time.
big surprise for everybody, too. Ted.
Ooh,
See you later.
are you going no stripping now, Jake? For fuck's sake, right? No stripping. Yeah. Jake the stripper. Anyway, yeah. So look, I suppose we will get straight into it. And one of the things that I am personally delighted to see, and I was going on about it for years, and maybe the powers that be in MotoGP started listening to this all fucking weird Irish fella. And
You listen to us a lot, believe it or not, folks.
and if you fall off your bike and your bike stops, you cannot restart the race.
Good. Good.
So that is
We've been pushing for that for a while.
yeah, so it is good to see. Now look, I hope there's a bit of a common sense pill here. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, if you're standing and you fall fucking over, do you know what I mean? At 0 miles an hour, there's a bit of fucking common sense there. But like, if you crash and you get up and you try to restart your bike and get it back to the grid, or get it back to the pit lane for a restart, then you actually can't. You're not allowed to restart it. So you
And
can run.
let's face it, doing and making a good decision is like the old expression: if you flip a coin long enough, it's going to fall on its edge.
Well, I genuinely believe, Jake, and I'm kind of Dorn is losing its power, right? And it has done, right? Like, genuinely, I believe Liberty sat back and watched last year, and now this year, and the structure of this year seems to be more, or that it's going to be a little bit more strict. Yes, you had Espeleta is still there. He is still the chairman. He's still a very influential person. But we thought that too with Bernie Ecclestone in Formula One, right? And they weren't, as soon as he started trying to keep it to his own format, he wasn't long gotten fucking rid of.
Yeah.
Straight out the door. I don't really want to talk too much about riders and the 2027 season, right? Because
Who knows?
exactly, right? Like, you
The only
have
one I want to say is I'm looking forward to Marquez signing for 2027.
no one actually even knows where Marquez is going to sign for 2027.
Well, he said he gave an 80% chance, so I would give that a pretty good high rating.
Yeah, maybe, but look, at the end of the fucking day, right? The way I see it is, Mark is not loyal to Ducati, like he was not loyal to Honda. No rider is right now, right? No rider in his or their stage of the career. Fabio Quartararo, Pecco Bagnaia, Marc Marquez, Alex Marquez. If they get a fucking sniff that one manufacturer is ahead of that other manufacturer, they'll be fucking. Do you know what I mean? And that's where
for talking about having the best bike. I just don't
yep.
want to see Honda go in there and trying to buy a championship again.
Oh, but they will. But Jake, that they will. Like realistically, let's be fair.
Yeah, they all do. But their thing is they go to buy the championship and dump on the bike. Once they get
But look,
they would get him and dump the rest. The bike would go down the tubes.
every manufacturer is fucking like that. Do you know what I mean? If you
Not
don't
like
have to,
that. No.
if you don't have to spend 20 million because your man is 3/10 and they won't fucking spend too
Now,
much.
Ducati's always been good. It's always been good. It's always keeping on the burner for keeping the bike good, as good as they can.
Yeah, no, don't get me wrong, but like I suppose the level, like if they're 7/10 of a second ahead of someone, just say, right? Even towards the end of the season, and if they were keeping the same bike for next year or the same, how would you say it, the same regulations, let's just call it, right? And they were 7/10 of a second, the board would have a lot of trouble giving them a full whack budget to go develop and be. Do you know what I mean? They'd be like, "What's the point? You don't need it." Do you know what I mean? Stay half a second ahead. We'll give you more money if you need it. Sort of thing. So look, for me,
But
I
Ducati
don't know.
and whatchamacallit would give more percentage of money. They're more apt to do so. They
Oh
want to
yeah.
keep the fight good.
Well,
Honda
yeah,
don't. That's the ass. They just dump it, and they'll just dump it in Marquez's lap and say, "Make it work."
yeah. But see,
That's
Honda are look, to be fair, right? And it will be interesting to see how Ducati fare, right? Money wise, with
yeah.
Audi and all of that, Audi now going into Formula One full time. Do you know what I mean? They're going to come up against the same sort of thing that Honda have come up with. Do you know what I mean? Like they're spending, just say for instance, 100 million a year on Ducati, all right, out of the budgets or whatever it is, right? Now a flagship team, which would be Formula One, with the Audi symbol on the side of it. You telling me that's not going to get more precedence?
No, yeah. I know.
Fucking right, it is.
Oh,
So,
well,
so
like Audi's an odd. Externally, yes. Internally, Audi has been a bike nuts forever.
they
Just not
have, they
not
have,
accept.
until they come to up to the expense of, like, running €100 million fucking bike team is nothing, right? Running a 1.1 fucking billion euro fucking
Yeah.
development fund for a Formula One team is fucking something else. Do you know what I mean? So, look, I'd be interested to see. But anyway, back to the riders. I would believe nothing on this rider is talking to this rider, to this team, this rider is talking to this team, because very simply, every team manager should be talking to every rider's manager to see what people are up to for the following season.
Yep.
And it should. Yes, it is highly likely Mark will sign with Ducati, but my point here is that we've seen it with Mark before. I love Honda. I'll stay here for the rest of my career. Gone. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but that was after years of abuse too.
Of course, but still, that's my point is that there is no loyalty in MotoGP, to anyone. So for me, when I'm looking at it,
Marquez, he had his grandfather going, "Get off the team. The bike's dangerous." You know what I mean? You got to get rid of. You got to jump. You got your
true,
own family member going, "Get the hell out of there."
true, but like when you remember the likes of Suzuki and even Yamaha being too loyal to their riders, you know
Yeah.
what I mean? Those days are
Yeah.
fucking gone, out the door. Sayonara. No rider is safe. I must say, looking forward to seeing Diego Moreira as well on the Honda. Apparently, he's going to be sponsored on the LCR team by Pro Honda, which is the Honda's oil supplier or whatnot. So I am looking forward to actually seeing himself on it. It will be interesting, there's a lot of people blowing on about this guy. You know what I mean? And yes, of course, it's his rookie year. How will he get on? I think he'll get on okay. But I suppose I'm really interested to see how Stoprak will go. Because again, I think this has been one of the the things that we've wanted to see for many years is answer the question of what would Toprak do on a MotoGP bike. Well, we're going to find out the answer. Is he on the best MotoGP bike? No. But I think it's the perfect time for him to learn it. What is going to happen with Pecco? I don't know. And you know something, I don't even think Pecco knows. And you know, like this is where I just find it funny. Is like, you know, I always go on about KTM being ruthless. Ducati are ruthless too, and yes, I know it's business, but I suppose when you bring Pecco or someone into MotoGP and you've kind of put years behind him, let's just call it, you know what I mean, backing him, supporting him, getting him here, and then a season or two, and you're like, fuck off. You know what I mean? It just kind of seems a little bit weird, I suppose. It's the nature of the beast. It's business. I get all that, but you know, again, it just kind of shows how the sport has changed to, I call it like zero tolerance almost. Do you know what I mean? Like a rider a few years ago, they could have 5 bad years, 6 bad years. Look at Rossi, right? Do you know what I mean? In Yamaha. And Yamaha stayed loyal to him. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or even go back, like, but now, like, even look at Zarco, right? Probably one of the best test riders out there, right?
Right.
HRC didn't want to give him the factory bike, right? He started whinging and moaning, right?
Mm-hmm.
If he does that again next year, fuck off.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I just personally, I just find it a little bit weird. But then saying that, it's the nature of the beast nowadays. Everyone is so PC, and
I was really shocked when Quartararo over the break was just so blatant. I mean, I knew he was in your face kind of kid, you know, but he was really laying it on.
Well, he is, but like
they did bite back at him. You notice that?
They did. They told him shut up and sit down. Do you know what I mean? Before you fall fucking down. Do you know what I mean? And look, I don't blame Yamaha, and I don't blame Quartararo either. You know, at the end of the day, he's believed them for many years, and for many years they've given him a bag of poo.
Yeah.
You know.
You remember when we first went over that? Remember the director at the time? That's who spoke with us. We said he was making a mistake, and that was 4 years ago. When we said, you know what? That's a mistake right then and there. And everybody looked at us and went, no. We were right.
Yeah. Look, at the end of the day, you know, look, Leopard just doesn't really change their spots, you know. And Jarvis started all of this with like, oh yeah, we're going to do this, and fucking whatever it was, a 5-page document of changes, and you know, writing was on the wall when they didn't get through fucking page 1, like. You know, so yeah, but look,
pretty talented. And then remember the I think it was even before that, we have a plethora of changes that we think is available in line 4. Like everybody's going, really? That's funny. No, our engineers can't see it.
Yeah,
we must be seeing on a different book.
Yeah, exactly. It's just, but look, I suppose that's what it is. Now, look, it is kind of funny now that this year will be the first year that every manufacturer will be a V4.
Mm-hmm.
Something we haven't had in a while. Although I must admit, I was watching and I was watching on YouTube a couple of the old 500cc races. You know, just a bit of Christmas nostalgia. You know, in between all those fucking fake channels that. Anyway, I won't even get fucking going. So yeah, but like, you know, kind of miss how simple it was back then too, though. Just, you know what I mean? Like, your man gets on the bike and goes racing, and that's fucking it. No ifs, ands, or buts. Falls off the bike, gets a kick in the hole from the team manager. You know, and then
we're men in his sheep were
scared. Yeah, or but you know, like fucking smoking in the pit lane or having a fag after having a crash, and do all of this stuff. But for me, I kind of missed all of that nostalgic stuff. But What was I going to say? Anyway, so riders, I don't really know what to say about them because like everyone should be talking to everyone right now. Do you know what I mean? Everyone should be like, even
It
if you
doesn't
have a
seem like it
contract.
though, as much as I would think. You know what I mean? It's not like everyone seems to be hush hush. You
I
know,
wonder though, is that an awful lot to do with the with Liberty Media actually?
had to be
That,
something. Man, it just seemed like a clam came over the whole paddock.
but it kind of came like that from after the summer break last year. Like
Mhm.
news is very hard to come by, and like I'd have loads of resources and contacts and this that and the other, and I'm like, if you got anything, and like we don't have anything concrete. Do you know what I mean? Whereas normally now you would hear from, you know, the inner circle or whatnot, or nowadays you're just hearing fuck all. Like, do you know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
um, I don't know. I think it's
But I'll tell you
like
what,
I
the
said,
V4. Did you see the prototype of the V4 production bike? The red and white
food.
one for Yamaha.
No,
Oh,
no,
it's a pretty thing. It's a pretty one. I got to give it, but it's nice. It's really nice
yeah.
line. Yeah,
Is it now? Is it just a concept or is it?
it's the concept right now. But they said that Yamaha's pretty quick on getting things on the burner.
No, when it comes to fucking MotoGP, it's not.
All right, well, I was about to say, you took words right out of my mouth. I was about to say, but
And that comes from a Yamaha fan, so no fucking anorak
yeah,
fuckers going, well, that's not quite true. You know, we developed 16.5 parts per hour. Fuck off. Yeah. Anyway, excuse me, my rant. Yeah. Look, it will be interesting. Like I think this year, like it's looking at it right now, it's hard to predict it not being more of the same. You know, I think Mark will a year on the current spec of bike. I don't see a drastic change in the GP26. To be fair,
nope,
um, I would actually say that the GP25 will go back towards the GP24, calling
yep,
it the GP26. Um, I think all Ducati riders are going to be on a GP26. That's my
yep. I
um,
agree.
um, I suppose the only thing that really is floating my boat and people are really talking about is that it's probably the end of VR46 and Ducati.
You think so? They're all going to
So,
throw this into Gosini.
huh?
They
Yeah.
need to
So,
throw it to Gosini.
well, no, like I think Aprilia and VR46 are going to team up.
Ah, yeah. You're right. You're right.
Yeah. So, now and look, this is where like I've heard rumblings of this for about a year, right? And I'm not sure if you remember at the start of last year. Was it the start, or was it maybe the start of the European race? There was there was a photograph, a MotoGP photograph with all the team owners, and that I think it was her. Maybe it was in Le Mans actually, with Hervé Poncharal, and Rossi was there, and Rossi came out, and he was blanked. He went to shake hands, or sorry, he was shaking hands. Let's just say now with the Yamaha on or the Yamaha fella who was standing behind or next to Gigi, but old man Dorna and Gigi Delinia would not shake hands with Rossi. And like, so if you could imagine Gigi and your man were sitting next to each other, right?
Yeah,
Rossi shook whoever was on the left hand side, or sorry, Gigi's right, and or Gigi's left or right or whatever. Do you know what I mean? But they just blanked each other. Do you know what I mean? And it was really, really, I was like going, Now, I could be completely wrong in that he shook their hands already. Do you know what I mean? But when the camera pumped back, but they wouldn't even look at each other. So I just thought that was kind of,
yeah. I don't know. Rossi's never seemed to take this managerial role that serious to me.
but he doesn't, right? Because he just lets Uzio run the fucking team, which is great. Do you know what I mean? Because that means he doesn't have to be there all of the time, which is a smart decision. You know what I mean? But for me, I think that could be the end of it. And we could see Rossi moving to Aprilia next year. So then that's the question: is where does this leave Trackhouse? Aprilia have been kind of always pushing the rumor out there that they're committed to Trackhouse and this, that, and the other, but you kind of expect them to say that. You know what I mean? So for me, look, I think it will be pretty interesting to see what happens with that.
And I worry about with what I worry about with Aprilia is like what I worried about before, and it came to fruition. Is they're such a small company. You don't want to have. I know that um, you want data, okay, but you don't want to have too much data. It's a little itty bitty company with eight riders. It's overkill.
Well, the thing is, right, and this is kind of this comes true in Formula One as well. Is right, and you see it in Formula One quite a lot that an engine manufacturer, because it costs so much to develop the hybrid engines and all of this, that they would have multiple teams that they supply. And if you look, say, for example, Mercedes have a good few numbers of teams, right? And it's all fine if they supply the engine, and as long as the works Mercedes team beats everyone, everything is fine. But when you get beaten by a different team using one of your engines to a championship twice in a row, it kind of like, someone's getting a kick in the fucking arse somewhere.
Or like what happened to Australia is they add more riders and team, and all of a sudden the thing starts going worse than it did better.
Yeah, it's just one of those things. But again, it's just for me when I'm just looking at it, I think they always want to make sure that the satellite teams are not overperforming. Let's just call it.
Yeah.
The overperforming the main factory team, I suppose. Let's just call it like that. A little bit like what happened with Grassini and Alex Marquez this year. That can't really be repeated next year, or else there's trouble. What was the other thing that I heard as well? Oh yeah, MotoGP is possibly looking at going to Abu Dhabi, the racetrack in Abu Dhabi.
I saw that, and I just didn't put two and two together because it's so damn poor there. No, but Abu Dhabi is real poor, is it?
No, they actually made some changes to the track to allow passing in Formula One. I'm not really sure how the track would suit MotoGP. I'd definitely love to give it as I say, like suck it and see, give it a go. Like
I remember them running there years ago, and it was like the trash hole.
Abu Dhabi?
Yeah.
No, Abu Dhabi is a very grand place now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Very, very grand. Yeah. Lots of million and billionaires and all of that there, with their yachts now, and so it's very you can see why they'd go there. It's about it would be very brand focused.
Maybe I'm thinking of something else. Yeah, maybe I'm thinking of the wrong one.
Now, like Espeleta has turned around and said that MotoGP would look at that would look at excuse me, that MotoGP would look at going to street circuits, and I can't fucking see it happening, really. Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. If I'm very, very honest, I can see us going to a street-like circuit with loads of runoff and stuff like this. I can't see us on a street circuit like Monaco or those, you know what I mean, or Singapore, where you make one mistake and you're flat out into a wall, like, do you know what I mean? So, pinch of salt, chasing some headlines as well, I suppose, with what's going on. I suppose what was the other thing I was gonna say? Yeah, then look, I suppose Pecco this year, don't know what's really going to happen with him. You know, Michele Pirro has said that next year all his problems go away. Now, whether it's that he's getting dumped and onto the Aprilia, or is it the fact that they understood what was wrong, but they fundamentally couldn't change it. Do you know what I mean? So I genuinely don't know. And what I can say is that he can't have another season like he's had this season and expect to keep the ride in Ducati. I would be flabbergasted if I'm honest, if he performed the way he performed this year and Ducati did stay loyal to him. Do you know what I mean? I wouldn't say Ducati were out of order for dumping him if he performed the way he performed this season. Bezzecchi, like, I think Bezzecchi will keep Mark somewhat honest if the bike is good. I just don't know, does he have the experience to battle someone like Marquez? Like, does he have it mentally to battle him? If you get me. So yeah, winning a couple of races is great and beating him in a couple of races, like, but I think Mark has slightly matured in the way of, I don't have to win at all costs anymore. If it's if it's within a chance, yeah, sure, I'll go for it. If it's not really in a chance, like let's just put it this way, right? 10 laps to go, he's 50 seconds behind, and he's 3 seconds a lap faster, right? He knows that he'd probably be 2.5 seconds faster, and just try and keep the pressure on to close the gap.
Yeah, he made a big statement
before he would try and push for 4 seconds or 5 seconds a lap to try and close that and fucking crash. Do you know what I mean? So I think there's a certain level of maturity. Maybe it's the misses and the ring on the finger and all of this stuff now that's giving him an all.
Yeah, he said something big. He said, and it didn't, on the outset, it didn't, most people don't think so. He said, I'm going to retire because of my body, not my mind.
Yeah.
That makes him, that says to me, he's thinking, he's being realistic and saying, okay, I'm not Superman anymore.
Or is it that he just realizing that maybe this year is his best year to win that coveted 10th or 9th or 10th or whatever it is championship? You know what I mean?
And
realistically, and let's be very, very honest here.
Yes, they have the best bike in the world, right?
You retire when you're on top.
Yeah,
that's it. You retire when you're on top. That way you don't fuck up your legacy. That way you don't do anything fucking stupid. You don't stay on a couple of years too long and fucking celebrate a 10th place like it was a fucking victory.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's how you do it. You go when you're on top.
Yes, and he knows he's on the bike with the manufacturer with the strongest engineering. He knows that for a fact. He goes in there confident, knows it's not a maybe situation.
Well, yeah,
which helps a lot with a rider.
It does, but like, I kind of question the strongest engineering now, right? Because let's be fair, right?
On their set, they just got hindered. They're like hog-tied, and everybody's starting to catch up to them. That's all.
I tend to disagree, right? Yes, they've won the championships, right? But like the 22 was, which is there, there. The 22, which is there, was probably their best bike ever. It was the most rider-friendly bike. The 23, as we know from Pecco, wasn't great until they made some massive modifications in the
24 was the best.
The 24 was better than the 23, but the characteristics of the 22. So that's why I'm still going back to the 22.
You're going back to the 22, but most people say it's the 24.
If the 24 is the characteristics of the 22, what they learned from the 23.
Right.
So, but it's the 22 is how to say this? It's the feeling of the 22 that they're trying to recreate. But the 22 it's too old. Do you know what I mean? But it's the feeling of that. Like they could do whatever the fuck they wanted to on the 22, and that was it. Anyway, long story short, that's where it is. But it will be interesting. Alex Marquez just needs to have another solid year. He doesn't top 3, top 4, that'll be good enough for him. For me, Aldeguer's under pressure. He's a fractured leg at the moment. I think it's a fractured leg. I think so. Yeah. But he's on a Ducati contract. Yes, he was a rookie. All of this stuff. Now it gets fucking serious. Now he's had a year under his belt. He needs to get to know it. He has a fast teammate in Alex Marquez, but he needs to be consistently beating him up. That's my view of it. Then you have the 2 VR46 boys. I think it's probably Franco Morbidelli's last year in MotoGP. And then Digi, I don't know what's going to happen with Digi. I think Digi really needs to sort himself out. I can't say with confidence that he will be there in 27 if he doesn't start strong. Because realistically, I am expecting a lot of the contract stuff to be done within the first 6 races.
Right.
So I'm interested to see. I'm interested to see what he will do in that. I think he has to. He has to perform, I suppose, strong straight out of the box. Talking about performing straight out of the box, Mr. Honda, who is riding in Aprilia this year, Jorge Martin. He's obviously tipped to go to Honda next season. He needs a good, solid, strong year. And I don't care what anyone says, right? Yes, he had a fucking pig of a year, and he had a lot of injuries this year, right? He also.
I gotta agree. I didn't see him jumping up and down and doing anything special in that Aprilia all year.
Well, he didn't stay on the fucking thing long enough to do that.
Yeah, exactly.
So, again, if technically he's only had a preseason on it. So, for me, he needs to have a good season. He needs to have a strong season because remember, right, Honda might be doting about him now, right? And look at him, isn't he a good boy and all of this, that, and the other. If he starts going out whinging and moaning and the bike is not this, the bike's not that, the bike that's this, and he starts showing an un-Honda-like culture of shutting your mouth and working on it or being curbed, then Honda, you can see the dollar value going down. Yeah, do you want to get away from Aprilia? Okay, yeah, fine. Instead of offering you 20 million, it's now 10. Do you know what I mean? So, and Aprilia mightn't fucking hold on to him if he's going to be whinging. Talking about Honda, I'm betting that Marini is going to beat Mir this year. I think Marini's going to have a solid year, but it's not enough to save his Honda seat. I think both Honda riders will be out the door in 27, no matter how they perform.
Yes. Yeah. If they can.
LCR, I think the only one that's probably safe there is Moreira, the rookie. Yamaha, Fabio, Rins.
Think he's leaving?
I think so. I think he has to.
No, I meant Fabio.
Yeah, Fabio has to. I think the change is now. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. It's hard. God, you can't get a straight answer. Anyway, you look at it about the Yamaha performance.
He's getting to the stage. He's getting to the stage of his career now where it's no longer money as the driver, it's championships. Do you know what I mean? Because he's running out of time. He's running out of time to win those championships.
Yep.
Rins, I think, will no longer be in the championship for the end of next year, no matter, unless he comes out and beats the balls off both Fabio and Toprak and all of those. So
you know how much I like Fabio, because not only is he fast, he's consistently fast. He's like metronome fast. Bam, 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 bam. He just comes out there and goes. But
yeah,
Fabio, me to you have to sell the Lamborghini collection. It ain't go for the best bike instead of the biggest paycheck.
I think I think it'll be funny to see Fabio Quartararo on a VR46 Aprilia.
Yeah, that would be phenomenal. That would be freaking phenomenal.
If that comes true, it was said here first.
Yeah, I'd do a backflip as my big fat ass.
Jack Miller and Toprak. The only one that's safe there for the 27 season is Toprak. Miller, this is his swan song. I think Yamaha have told him you've 1 more year. That's it. Done. KTM, Pedro Acosta, Brad Binder. I think Brad Binder is gone. I think Pedro Acosta will go to Ducati. 100%. I can see if Pecco fucks up, I can see the 2027 Ducati team being Pedro Acosta and Marc Marquez.
And when does that CF Moto deal coming through? When CF Moto buys into KTM, right?
No, they're buying into Tech 3, isn't it? Or yeah, it might, or no, sorry, it could be KTM as well. That again is all fucking rumors that is all around the place.
Yeah. I was going to ask you about that. I didn't know how strong it is, how weak it is.
It started off with KTM, then it moved to Tech 3, but then Tech 3 was only taken over by Gunther Steiner's crowd. So possibly that they are going to buy the Pierre Mobility MotoGP side of things out. But like you just don't know. Like KTM could turn around and say, "We found the money." Do you know what I mean? It's so wide open there. But saying that, I don't think there is going to be any consistency in the factory team next season. I do think Pedro Acosta's out the door, and I think it's either Honda or Ducati is where he's going. That would be my 2 cents. The Tech 3, Enea Bastianini, I think this will be the last year of himself and Maverick Vinales. Now, I did see Maverick Vinales doing some training, and yeah, Maverick, look, and don't get me wrong, I'm not shitting on Maverick, but he's too hot and cold. At this stage in his career,
that's been his MO since day one.
Yeah, and I think maybe a test rider sort of style of things would suit him the best. And then we have Agora and Fernandez. I think Agora might be okay. He's young enough. He still bounces. For me, it just depends what manufacturer that they bring in. I can see a Honda in that kind of Trackhouse sort of viewpoint, or even maybe another Ducati, Trackhouse Ducati, maybe. I don't know. I think it's so early to tell, but I don't see Trackhouse and I don't, how would I say, it doesn't feel like Trackhouse is one of the major teams there. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
It just seems one of the, how would you say, it's just one of the hangers around.
Around our startup team. You know what I
mean? Yeah. It's just not kind of ingrained in it.
I actually expected more from them. That's all the NASCAR were gonna, I thought they'd have more contacts with money, and
Yeah, but look, I suppose the thing is that right, motorbikes turn right as well, not just left.
Yeah.
You know, so the NASCAR.
No, look at me. I don't watch NASCAR hillbillies.
I fucking love NASCAR. Hey, Paul, I'm turning left. I like watching NASCAR and drinking beer. Yeah, and then look, I suppose
That man knocked me out, hanging out, just because I wanted to go shake my hands with my buddy.
who was driving at 200 miles an hour.
I wasn't very nice to him.
Or how are you not, man? Anyway, and then I suppose the last thing is that there is like we talked about not allowed being restarting your bike and all of this stuff. There's also new stuff coming in about concussions and all of this and dealing with them. And how to say, a new rider protocol. The only thing that I'm kind of a little bit disappointed in is that Dorna and Liberty didn't take on board. It's a stupid fucking tire pressure rule. Like it really, it's the one thing that really, really fucking irks me. I get it. I understand why they're doing it. You know what I mean? It is to stop. It is a safety thing. It is like if you've designed your tires to not work below X, right? And people are running them below X, there is a concern there. Fair. Get it. 100%. It's like, again, it's like a MotoGP bike is not supposed to run at 20 degrees temperature. Do you know what I mean? It has to be up in the 80s, 90s, 100 degrees fucking to get the optimum performance out of it, right? So I get it. But surely, be to fucking God, when those bikes roll around onto the start of the grid, there's the electronic reading that can be done to say every single bike is at the minimum tire pressure.
Yes.
You know, surely be to God, it can happen. Do you know what I mean? And a fella that's out on his own in the front of the race, of course his tire pressure is not going to be as high as the person that's behind him in all the hot air. Of course it's not. Like a bit of fucking, like a common sense pill here, please, gentlemen. Do you know what I mean? Can we please look at just take the pressure at the start of the race? At the start of the race, and like I always remember starting go-kart races, right? So do you know the way they line up in twos? So you might have 15 in each row, right? And then you drop the flag, and the pole and off pole are supposed to be kind of like maybe a foot between them. Do you know what I mean? And you drop the flag. They anticipate when you drop the flag, right? So they put the boot down. And then you'd have a fella saying, "Oh, well, he wasn't a foot behind him exactly in fucking this and fucking that." And you're like, well, he fucking was when they dropped the flag. Do you know what I mean? So it's just like, again, it's just common sense. Start of the race, you know, they're all running up. The time that the light comes on, registers on the system. What's all their tire pressures? Are they all green? Yes, bang, go. Do you know what I mean? It's just like there's so many data points there and times that you can take when the measurement occurred. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And I just by monitoring it lap by lap, and then you're like, oh, did you complete X amount of time?
Yeah,
It's just fucking stupid.
It says it all when a person's leading a race and he has to back up not to get not let somebody else pass him to give up the lead so he doesn't get fined. It's insane.
Yeah, exactly.
Enough said.
Exactly. It is, and you know, look, I suppose hopefully we won't see too much of it this year. But you never know. And then look, we have the big change coming then for 27. Like realistically, they say with the 27 bikes, when they start rolling out, they're going to be about 2.5 seconds a lap slower. Right? You won't fucking notice it on the side of the racetrack.
Yeah, honestly,
you won't. You won't. You fucking won't. Like, do you know what I mean? I give it the first season. By the end of the first season, they'll have at least clawed back a second to a second and a half.
Oh, I don't think that. It's 3 seconds. I think they'll. A second and a half. I'd say a 3/4 of a second, maybe half to a 3/4.
They have 6 months of full concessions. Every single one of them. So every time they're going out there,
the only thing that's a real buster on that thing when I look at it is the bore. The bore's broke.
Forget about fucking engines and what they're going to learn about the tires, which are all going to be brand new. It's going to unlock at least a second to a second and a half over the course of the year. Then tuning the chassis and the tires, that's where they're going to get it. And then they're going to get another half second to 3/4 of a second out of the electronics in the engine. Guaranteed. Once they figure it out. Because everyone is starting, even Pirelli, right? Pirelli, yeah, you can blow out your balls and be like, yeah, well, we fucking done fucking superbike, whatever. Ain't no fucking things like MotoGP bikes. Do you know what I mean? And you gonna learn, boy. You gonna learn. Do you know what I mean? So you can have all the engineers out there and NRX and geeks and all of this, and they're like, well, we should go around the corner, and you don't fucking know really till you go around that corner. Do you know what I mean? And like Marc Marquez in the testing phase to Marc Marquez in a race phase, they're very two different Marc Marquezes. Do you know what I mean? So, so for me, when I'm looking at it, I think it's going to be 20. I think I'm actually somewhat optimistic about 2027. And then I know how you're like, do you know what I mean? But I'm a little bit more optimistic than I was mid-season last, I think, because I think it's good. I think the change is good in the way of, it's sometimes good to try and upset the pecking order. Formula One do it quite a lot. I think there was, regulations changed in, it was supposed to be 2020, wasn't it? The pandemic.
I think they should win another cycle. Honestly, so they should win another cycle, another 5 years, and then switch over something. Give it 5.
But we've done good fucking 6-7 years now of this. Do you know what I mean?
I know.
Yeah, I know. But I think it's time, and majority of performance parts realistically would have.
I still like having 1,000 cc's, and I know it's just a marker in my head, but I like to have 1,000 cc premier class, and I like being a premier class that is all engineering. It's no hindering of engineering.
I think, but look, I think there's always going to be. It's always going to be hindering. Like the minute that you create, the minute you create
3 engines on it, and a rocket ship, but within reason.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Is like the regulations are a formula. Do you know what I mean? And it's who can unlock the formula is the challenge, right? I think an awful lot of teams will be somewhat not conservative, but I don't think they're going to be as brave in year 1 as they're going to be in year 3. Does that make sense? To try radical things. But then saying this, right? The other thing that like we saw KTM were running their bike, their 27 bike in Jerez. Like I do believe that Ducati have probably put an awful lot of last year's development resource towards that bike. Do you know what I mean? They're kind of saying the gap is big enough. Do you know what I mean? And
right.
That's in my view, that's allowed the Aprilia bike to get closer, I suppose. But I think they've woken up slightly now for the 26th. But look, we'll find out. We'll find out soon, and we have like team launches happening this week as well. So, well, as you're watching this today, really has launched. So I guess we'll wait and see. But I am looking forward to the season. Haven't kind of decided the format that we will do this season yet. Will I do videos every day? Will I do videos 2-3 videos a week? What way will we? What will we do?
You don't have to. You don't bust your shoes out.
Yeah, you know? And as well, look, I suppose it is fucking disheartening with all the bullshit out there, and you're looking at it, and like, I'll give you a very one real thing, right? You see these channels out there, and they've 100,000 views, and they've 10 subscribers. These are all fucking fake, right? Fake views, fake subscribers. And you look at it, and the likes, you know, Jake Dixon, Moto 2 rider, yeah? Well, formerly Moto 2 rider, now factory Honda world superbike rider. You know, released the video today and whatnot. He's a couple of 100,000 followers on Instagram and this, that, and the other. And he's got 1,500 views on YouTube. Do you know what I mean? So you're just like, how does a fake channel get fake views and this, that, and the other? It's all just fucking nonsense. Do you know what I mean?
And they heard nothing. All of a sudden, Moto America has filed for bankruptcy. Did you hear that?
Has it?
Yes.
Oh, for fuck's sake. So what does that mean? Is that like a protection, or is it just gone boom?
11 and 13.
Yeah, you need to. Like, I'm not American, so I don't understand.
That would be a protection.
Okay. So yeah. So okay. All right. So the series isn't technically gone boom, but they're just looking for a new investor. Correct.
It's not 7, but it's it's not good.
Right.
Anyhow, by the way, on a good note, I was surprised you. Guess what, guys? I bought a new bike. After all the going and all this researching, man, I went through this, but I went through every one of them. And the amazing thing is, not amazing. You know, we're always saying, what do you say every time I say Ducati? You're saying, oh, they're expensive, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, expensive. Oh my God, it's Ducati money. Between the European bikes going down, right? I mean, big drops, $10,000 drops, and the Japanese going up. Okay, like a ZX10R is 29,000.
Right.
Right. They're even money now. Honda CBR's 1000 RRR is 32. They're up there with it. Yeah, it's up there with the E4S. It's unbelievable, and the quality of the Japanese is going right down the shitter. We were right. Remember the big thing with the ZX6 recall? Guess what? Remember we said you couldn't do it that way? You couldn't just tighten it up, right? Loosen it up, right? And then retighten it, and it's going bad. It'll go bad again. Guess what? They all went bad.
Of course it did.
Now you do it 30,000 bikes, then you go, oh, we got to do it again, right?
It's called keeping them busy.
Right?
Yep.
Then, on top of that, another bearing goes bad inside the crank. The Honda Hornet, right? You heard about the Honda Hornet's going to come in and save Honda for a price. Burning oil like it's going out of style. 17,000. It's just they're recalling them off. Like every Japanese bike had a recall or something, and it wasn't like little recalls. Like the Europeans have like, you know, a turn signal relays goes bad, little shit. You know what I mean? Dopey crap.
Okay, but so what bike did you buy?
Oh, piss off, you Irishman. I got it.
You're on some fucking tangent there. I'll just bring it back to
it. It's unbelievable when I found out how many screw ups there are. They're like falling down the tubes. I got an MV Brutality 1000 RS.
Nice.
Guess how much? $19,000. $10,000 off.
I'm just going to Google how much it is here in Ireland.
Okay. Oh, they'll kill you in Ireland. I don't know. They're really going hell. All the MV Augustas are going real. They have a big thing on big sale.
MV. Whoa!
It got rave reviews. It's got, huh?
Oh no, that's the 800. No, one sec.
Both of them, they're all look good, but I'm just saying, look at the 1,000.
Wow, that is actually stunning. MV Augusta Brutale or.
Mm-hmm.
Is it the same?
Same. Well, the RS has higher handlebars, like a little, that much less more handlebars.
She's very pretty. But you're right. They've killed it. They absolutely killed the price here. Killed the price. I thought, no. She's 17,000 euros. She's brand new. Oh no, that's an 800. Oops. Where's the 1,000? Okay, there she is. The 1,000.
The 1,000.
Oh yeah, I have it here. Yeah, 1,000. Single-sided swing arm. She's nice looking. Yeah, I like the exhausts. Although, are you going to put a proper fart can on it?
That bike doesn't have. Even all the adjusters go or testers go.
Oh,
just one bike you don't need a fart can on. He said most you will do is bypass the
cat.
The cat.
Yeah, she has a bit of aero on her.
Yeah.
So
208 horsepower, 85 pounds of torque.
22,000 here, euro.
Yeah.
It's all engine though, isn't she? Really?
Now,
she's lovely though.
Go look up a Kawasaki ZXR R whatever 10. GF10R.
ZXR 10.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. No, they don't have it here. One sec.
It's $29,000. Don't forget, the MVs have titanium rods, titanium pistons, forged rods, forged pistons, radial piston. You know what I mean? The radial valves.
Yeah, just looking at the ZXR 10 or Ninja. 24K.
Yeah,
not bad.
Yeah, right. What?
That's not bad compared.
24
grand.
The MVs are way better built.
Oh yeah, listen, there's $2,000 in it here, right? But
the metals in them just alone. You know what I mean? Every piece on it is either titanium or magnesium. You get magnesium rims and all their engines are cryogenically brought down. You know cryogenic.
Yeah.
I'll tell the people what cryogenics. You probably do it better than I do. They bring the engine down to 300 degrees below zero, and they're bringing it up, and they tighten as the temperature rises. So everything is absolutely equal. It takes 12 hours for them to build an engine, where normally it's like 2, literally.
Yeah. Well, normally they
as long as you don't run them without oil. When you run them without fuel, run them without coolant, like that other asshole did. It blew up. You didn't put coolant.
What happened? Boom.
What happened?
Yeah.
It's their fault. No.
Yeah, the new Ducati V4 S is 36,000.
Yeah.
Goodbye. 36,000.
Yeah. How much?
36.
36,000. See, I can get them so cheap. I'm way cheaper.
Yeah. Now you see, I can buy a V4 S. Well, he or she now, because they have changed the model. So the V4S. Oh, she doesn't even have aero, does she? No. So that must be your vintage bike. Do you know what I mean? Same as yours, and that's still 22,000. Like you get a brand new. Oh, she's 192, so it's 2019. So it's 2019 and she's 22,000.
Okay.
Just shows you, you get a brand new
Yeah.
ZXR, near enough a brand new ZXR. You get a brand new.
Ducatis is what in your case here around the world, I guess, except for Ireland. The Ducatis they've taken a big chunk of big discounts also.
Okay. So I think I guess on this, and we'll catch you later.
Okay.